talk about.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And the
So
best thing is, if we get to nothing else, we'll have that. You know,
yeah.
I'm not gonna keep you here for 6 hours.
All right. I do believe we are alive. So now it is
Uh,
sound check time.
Sound check, sound check. Sound check, sound check time.
Nami Gaming Live. Okay, everybody. Give
Yes?
me your best potent potable.
Potent potable.
I don't know if it's going to be the best or not, but it'll give you something.
My most potent potable would be some very nice bourbon whiskey. Kind that you can peel paint off with.
The varnish grade.
Preferably from Kentucky.
Well, technically, can't they not call it bourbon if it's not bottled in Kentucky?
Yeah, bourbon is technically supposed to only be from Kentucky, but you know. Oh, quick side note. Did you hear about the whole France and Russia champagne thing going on right now?
No.
No.
You tell.
So France is really angry at Russia right now because Russia just started a law that stated that the only thing that you can say is champagne that was made in Russia, and France is like, oh, hell no. This is not a thing that I am going to put up with right now. And so they are very angry right now.
Vexed, to say the least.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things the French could get upset about, but taking one of their iconic drinks known from the country is a bit of a step on the toes.
Champagne is only from the
export.
Champagne region.
Yeah.
And Vass is right. Key export. It's
Key
a cultural
expensive
touchstone.
export.
Yeah.
Cultural touchstone that costs tons of money.
Buku dollars. But we're here to talk about video games. Are we good to go?
You have 2 thumbs up from this Nami Gaming member.
All right.
Good. Fire away. Send it.
Oh, boy. Here, as I deflate a little bit, let's talk about some video games and all the crap that's gone down.
So much news.
Yes.
So many things have happened.
So first I have up State of Play, July 2021. It was streamed on Thursday, if you're keeping track of any of this. And let me first off start by saying, for most of this wonderful podcast, I'm going to put Vast Empires in the driver's seat because this is her list. And
it's a list.
It's Mahusiv.
2 S's.
Yeah. So she's gonna be calling shots for this one, and I'm okay with that. I'm all right with just scrolling the mouse.
All right, then I, like Jesus, will take the wheel and put us on the path of something.
Take it from my hands.
I hate and I love that song. So let's get started. Sony State of Play, July 8th. Sony was, of course, notably absent from E3 this year, and that's because in the, pre-COVID, but also post-COVID landscape, everyone's basically like, you know what, we can kind of do this ourselves. And Sony decided to do, a post-event. And they revealed 11 continuing looks or first looks to games that they've been bringing to us previously. And we're going to recap them because there's some pretty interesting trailers, some news, some launch window dates. And let's start first with Moss Book 2.
Alrighty. Here as I flub how you write podcasts on Twitter. Have either of y'all played the first one?
Have not.
Have not. I have seen previous trailers that Sony and the studio have released, but this was the first time I actually sincerely paid attention and said, that doesn't look bad.
I remember when the first Moss came out. This is a VR title, by the way, and I don't think any of us own a PSVR headset. But when the first one came out, we were coming down off of, I want to say, The Division, and the mouse/rat hate from Vast was at an all-time high after she was shooting at rats that are running down the street in New York City. And that's about as much as we spoke about the first one. But it's good enough that they ordered a second one, I guess.
Yeah, and it looked like it's pretty interesting. It's actually very, very funny that you bring up that Division reference, and me and my friends who are still in New York, who were letting me know that all of the subway flooding it's a real issue.
Yeah.
And I've had a friend who is vacationing in the city right now talking about the size of the rats that are vacating the subway, like in daylight vacating the subway because of of flooding. And but that is my natural inclination to not like those things. Did not deter me from the cuteness in this trailer.
Okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea about this game. I just know that it exists. And they showed bits and pieces of it.
And when I first saw it, I was like, is this Mouse Guard? I forget the name. But yeah, it's cute. It really does look cute.
Do we have anything else to say about it, or are we just gonna...
Let's move on. We got a
see
whole
Mouse on
long
an
list.
adventure.
Next on the list is Arcadegeddon, and let me tell you, I don't want to play discount Fortnite.
Yeah, the most interesting thing about Arcadegeddon to me is that the character design of the whatever these are, your avatars, look like something out of the movie Osmosis.
Yes!
Do you guys remember that?
Yes!
Yeah. Oh yeah. I absolutely remember that movie.
Uh-huh.
And so that's what got me to pay attention during the trailer. It's like, oh, this looks like the creators of Osmosis Jones, or someone who's heavily influenced by that as a child, and that's what they... Anyway,
Yep.
I like the bright colors. The gameplay looks like it would be fun. Am I going to play it? Probably not.
Yeah. Everybody's chasing what Fortnite has. Also, it seems like a mix of Fall Guys a little bit with some of the mini games that they have that they showed.
Mm-hmm. You know another influence that I see as you go through the gameplay right now? Oh shoot. Bob and Enzo.
Bob and
What is the name of that show?
What?
What is the name of that show?
Enzo.
Bob and Enzo.
Reboot.
Oh my gosh. Whoa! Blast from the past. Okay. I absolutely remember that series because I watched every gosh dang episode of that. That is because Enzo, when you said Enzo, that's not a usual name of a character, and so that had me thinking there. But the Bob part threw me off. But absolutely, Bob the Guardian and Enzo, his son.
And Enzo. And it was mainly just some of the over the shoulder shots and the movement. All of a sudden, I was like, "Holy crap! This kind of reminds me of Reboot," which is not a bad thing. But again, it's not going to get me to play. I would beta test it though.
Yeah, I could play it if it were, free on a weekend or something like that, maybe. But yeah, I'm not throwing money down on this.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pass for me.
Yeah. Some people will play it, but it's not me.
All right. Well, as you played through this the second time, I realized why I thought of Reboot. There's a green female character avatar who had darker green or purple hair, and she reminded me of the girl that Bob used to flirt with, and I can't remember her name right now, but she was Enzo's big sister.
Got you. Well, do we want to move on?
Look, we got even more stuff to get
Yeah, we
through.
got a
All
lot.
right, next. It's a big topic. I actually have a question for you guys. Tribes of Midgard.
Let
has...
me... Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, it's been reviewed. It's coming soon, July 27th. That's the end of the month. What did you guys think?
I think it looks cool, and I think it's worthy of a play if y'all are interested.
I am interested, Arcadius. Please say you're
Okay.
We have just suffered a lack of things to do together that are gaming
Yes.
related, like
Yeah, really.
video gaming related.
It was our bread and butter for a very long time, and it seems like our bread has become D&D, but it's still not as good as it,
Sparsely buttered.
Yeah. It's like the butter's cold, and it kind of rips your bread a little bit. When you're trying to spread it over.
What the worst? Oh my gosh, restaurants. Like, don't leave your butter in the freezer and expect it to be spreadable. Like, my god.
On lukewarm bread.
Mhm.
But we're getting away
If that.
from a really important Arcadius.
So
Are you gonna
apart
say
from
yes?
the butter spreading woes, yeah, well we can play this. This is fine.
Thank God.
It is, and like it's just another actual togetherness game that can be played in our desert lacking arena of playable multiplayer games.
I think that's only made worse from the fact that none of us have PS5s, and we're just kind of blah. I know I am kind of blah about breaking out my PlayStation 4 again right now. When
You PC folks.
I can play most of what I want to play on PC, and I'm playing a lot of stuff with Jasmine, like Chivalry 2, which is a lot of fun. But
Oh, you did get Chivalry 2?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Good senseless fun.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'm down to play this. It looks a little bit more in depth than Minecraft Dungeons, a little less in depth than Diablo, which
Yeah.
hopefully we will also get to later. This,
Oh yeah, we'll get to it.
This.
I think we've talked about this very lightly before, but I really like the graphics, the artistic design behind this game, the look of the giants crossing the field looks really cool. I think the powers look neat, and it looks the game also, or excuse me, the devs talked about additional releases for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm always interested in, because once you get to the end, if you really like it, you want more things to do, and I feel like this is a game that we'll wind up really liking. So
yeah, I hope so.
Not just because I'm desperate, but because it actually looks good.
Desperately good. Tribes of Midgard.
It's like that methadone that doesn't quite scratch the edge, but it like knuckles it for just a moment.
Just a moment.
Yes.
All right,
I'd
there
be
was
down
a
to
couple
try it
more.
out.
Good. Well, at the end of the month, we're going to try it out. We're going to stream it. We're going to have fun, damn it.
Oh wow, you're,
Co-op game.
you're really throwing down on
Oh
this.
my god. Oh
I am back. I'm ready to get back to normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too. You want to move on to the rabbit with the gigantic, arm on his back?
Power knuckle.
Yes. Speaking of unnormal, Fist.
This game.
Forged in Shadow Torch.
It's kind of a funny little game. It looks like.
I didn't know
Basically,
that
a
this...
rabbit with anger issues that's on a revenge streak, and it's what it looks like.
I didn't know that this game did well enough to warrant a sequel, because this is the second one of this.
This is the second one?
Yeah, this is the second one. The first one came out years ago. it was not a launch title, I don't believe, but it was like mid-life cycle game for a small developing team. And here they are working on a second one that, it certainly looks pretty, but I don't want to play as a personified rabbit with a gigantic arm.
Anger Rabbit, Fist of Fury.
So, looking at the gameplay right now, and knowing that the character is a anthropomorphized rabbit, I don't know how accurate this is, but it feels like a spiritual successor to Captain Bucky O'Hare.
Wow. I haven't thought about that in a really long time. Are we just, like, gonna make really damn old references?
On the nostalgia train?
I am, like, I got something for you on the nostalgia train on this list. But yes, apparently we are. But yeah, I don't know why. I guess it's just because you don't see very many rabbit heroes outside of Slippy. Yeah, Slippy and Captain Bucky. Oh, and Bugs, of course. But yeah, I don't know. The gameplay looks really cool. The graphics look neat. I was very surprised to see that, like, a bullet hell section in this side-scrolling platformer type game.
Yeah.
I hope it does well. Looks interesting.
Well, the first one did well enough. So, yeah. More power to all the little devs that are able to make whatever that they really want to make, including some weird shit. Because I'm down for some weird shit, just not this weird shit. You know what I mean?
It's not the right flavor of weird.
Yeah, really.
You don't want post-apocalyptic steampunk rabbit hero.
No, not really. Not really.
Is it duck season for you?
It's not any season for me in that regard. That's not the kind of weird I ascribe to, but,
Yep. All right. We're knocking them down, guys. Hunter's Arena Legends.
No.
Yeah, sadly another game that I'm not...
Y'all are gonna learn my birthday. No.
Does this have your, like, MMO flashbacks sort of thing?
No, it's a battle royale.
Well, I thought it was only a battle royale in one optional sense. Is it only battle royale? Because you had singles and trio. I know they talked about the battle royale section.
I think both of them are battle royale modes. It's just team sizes that were different. Or am I wrong?
No, I thought that there's like a sort of what I'd call campaign setting where you go about, destroying the monsters and saving everything, and then the multiplayer aspect is single player battle royale or 3-party battle royale. Is how I understood it.
I want to say that it's all battle royale, but
if it's all battle royale, that's even more of a reason to dump it like it's hot.
So,
like it's hot. Dump it, drop it, let it go.
No, I'm not accepting your cookies.
No cookies for you.
Fuck off, website. I'm not interested.
Okay, so it says the game's 3 modes include solo, trio, and tag. Solo is free for all, but players are also encouraged to explore dungeons and hunt demons to grow stronger. Trio is 3 against 3
like
players
30
against
people,
each other.
But in teams of 3, yeah.
Yep. And then tag match moves away from battle royale and puts 2 players into an arena in a pure test of combat. So looking at this, I think it's an interesting take on the battle royale mode, because I guess it's because fighting games appeal to me more than shooters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not good at them, but I'm better at them than shooters. And like having to actually bring the fight to a character and not just having someone snipe you from 60 feet away feels to me more sporting.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like the character design.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Because like it looks amazing.
It really does.
I'm not gonna play it. I'm not gonna play it. But the character design and the customization does look cool though. So I'll give them that.
The way that they show everything in this trailer, they talk about how it's a battle royale, but they're always showing one-on-one fights. And it makes me wonder if they've put in place some kind of system that will stop people from just ganking one-on-one fights and destroying them both and then moving on. Or
There's going to be a lot of trollery in this one for sure.
Like, is the map big
Just
enough that you will see
frustratingly
like
trolly.
a person by themselves a lot? Or what? Is it like a cordoned off arena once you find somebody? Or like, how does that work? But I am not interested in enough, regardless of how beautiful it looks, because it does look really cool. I'm not interested enough to find that out for myself.
Yeah, it has the right amount of Soul Calibur in it to draw me in. And then of course I see like the Mortal Kombat. I see all the other fighting games in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that was the one that I really enjoyed the most. Soul Calibur, because of the weapons.
Yeah.
And so that is cool. I wish it were just not what it is. Like, I wish it were a cooperative adventure game. Like, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I'd play that.
I wish.
Then they ruined it by making it a battle royale.
The state of the industry were not these things that are currently in vogue. Mm-hmm. Fortnite and battle royales. I don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. I hope that it does what it is supposed to do and that the people who it's targeted for embrace it. Because if battle royales moved in this direction, I wouldn't be... Well, I'm not mad about it right now. I mean, there's other stuff that I play, but I wouldn't be as mad about it, Yeah. At least, I guess what I'm saying is, like, at least this is an interesting take.
Yeah. The way the graphics are themed kind of makes me think of, like, Black Myth Wukong. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Just a little bit, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that game recently.
I haven't either. Also, I'm going to try and get you guys on the books. I know movies aren't necessarily your thing, but I recently rewatched Neja and then watched Neja Reborn, which is a film that came out of China 2 years ago. Was 2 or 3 years ago the first one, and then Neja Reborn was released on Netflix like earlier this year, I think. Anyway, Neja Reborn was actually really good, and so I kind of want to get you guys to watch it. The fight scenes were so much fun. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, cool. Speaking of fight scenes, Sifu.
Sifu!
It looks cool.
Sifu.
This game looks so badass.
Yeah,
it
really does.
Am putting it on my maybe list.
Really? That's a good place to put it.
It's not on my must-buy list, not because I don't think it's a must-buy for people, because it looks so... I, as an aging gamer, look at things like, would I actually be able to do this? And I don't want to feel bad about gaming. So that's where this one is. This one is like, will my feebled hands be able to take this game?
Well, what it reminds me of is the fighting styles of things like Spider-Man or the Arkham series. A little bit, where you have like the crowds and you're fighting like 3 or 4 at once. And there are little tells, and you learn habits and stuff like that. Only it doesn't seem as if this is going to give you the tells. You just kind of have to know.
I
Yeah.
also see like the age thing is so in Hades, there was a system where after a certain point, you didn't enter God mode, and I don't even remember if it told you because I don't think I ever got there in my game. But a friend of mine told me that they got to a certain point after they died so many times, they were able to put the game in a specific mode, which like had reduced damage reduction and um, other things to help you progress as a gamer because it that game was really heavily built on narrative despite it being a roguelite. And so it wanted you to progress through the game so you can get to all of these other narrative things. So I'm wondering if that aging system is something like that, where you age and get experience and you learn, like the game will give you the tails, that kind of thing.
It'd be cool for people that, didn't want to do the whole lightning fast reflex kind of thing.
We are not all Keanu Reeves in John Wick. Or like you'll if you hit age 50, you learn bullet time.
Shouldn't it be like the other way around?
No.
You go backwards.
I mean, you're a master. You're a master now. You've mastered bullet time.
Oh shit! Now that I'm old as hell, I can dodge bullets.
There's got to be a benefit to aging. Bullet dodging is gonna be it.
Yeah, you don't have those cat-like reflexes to do anything else, but you sure as heck can be like, "What are you doing here, Bullet? Let me just scoot right around you."
65, you turn into Raiden, and you don't have to pay taxes.
You just shock the tax man when he comes to the door. Get out of here.
Yes. It looks good though. Like I'm really excited about it.
It might be one of those games that is going to be really fun to watch people that are good at it play it.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe not as fun to try and play it.
It looks really good. It's like a callback to every like Hong Kong kung fu movie. And that's like really underrepresented in cinema right now.
Yeah.
And
I miss it.
That age of cinema was very fun, but it's just not really around anymore,
Mm-hmm.
Truth.
Yeah. Do we want to move on some more?
Yeah.
Let's go to Jett, the Far Shore.
Yeah.
Thoughtful exploration and an inquisitive atmosphere make this adventure stand out.
I just had to comment first off that the guy narrating this particular video was trying way too hard.
All right,
he needed to dial it back like 20%.
Listen to me. Aside from working as a dev on this game, I guarantee you that his hair is cropped very short and he has a beard. And his shirt is a very, very thin material V-neck. And he wears a beanie. And he also works at an artisanal coffee shop. All right?
On the side?
This is the guy that narrated this.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, could he also sideline as a butcher?
No.
Okay.
Too much physical labor involved.
I guess that's been vetoed. the guy that we're making has noodle arms, I guess.
Yeah, because he's a game developer. He's not a freaking weightlifter.
And a barista, okay? He's multifaceted.
Which you don't need. You don't need lumberjack arms to be a barista. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, he also wears very heavy-framed glasses.
Arcadius, I know you're tall, but now I sincerely hope that this game developer knocks on your door. He's like 6'8" and built like a tree. Like I heard you talking shit.
Hey, I'm the guy that did the Jett Farshore narration for the PlayStation State of Play on July 8th.
Oh, so you're that over enthusiastic stooge? Slam the door, lock it.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh, but what? Sorry, what did you guys think about the game
The
itself?
game. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, now that we got that out of the way, I liked the whole the like navigation schema of how you kind of get around the world and stuff. I know they talked about how there is sort of it's a very fast-paced travel system, and I kind of like that. It's something you kind of pay attention to, and you don't just hit a button and go, "Take me there." You like actually have to make your way over there, but it's not so slow that you have to grind the travel, so to speak. So yeah, I thought it was interesting. Now, as far as the rest of the game, it was very, I don't know, very polygon. It wasn't. I think they're trying to focus more on the travel and less about the rest of the game, just based on the graphics, and maybe they're trying to like make up for it with some of the more interesting stories and game settings. But it didn't seem to be the character peoples in this world did not seem to be the focus of a lot of man hours from a visual perspective.
They did look more like meeples than actual people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I feel like it was a like chilled out Star Fox is kind of what I thought it was. Like the way things fly around and stuff like that reminded me, especially the first shot, really reminded me of Star Fox. But
do you actually get to shoot anything, or is it just a travel?
Like they specifically said in the trailer that they have de-emphasized weapons. I don't know if weapons are even in the game. So
you just you probably got some shields, some speed boosts, some escape maneuvers, and then that's all you get.
Yeah, probably. They, are big fans the way, most of the time the people in Star Trek tried not to interfere with anything. Is what it seems like one of the influences is for this game is whatever it is. I've never watched Star Trek.
Peaceful scientific research.
Yeah. Do no harm and leave no trace.
Leave no trace.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like metaphysically busting into your room once again. I'm kicking the door open, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what? How did I not know this about you?
Yeah.
Why are we friends?"
So
I'm sorry, I said that out loud.
The only episode of Star Trek that I have ever seen was the Tribble episode, and
makes sense. That was pretty high in popular culture.
It is because of an ex-girlfriend, so like it's not super high on my to watch list right now. And with the amount of media that I have to consume to even like do the two things that I usually do, which is play video games and plan D&D, I like my time is booked right now. So
salad.
Yeah.
I will just say, because I'm a friend, that I do hope sometime in the future you get a chance to watch a couple of episodes, because it is a very important part of like science fiction's is an important building block in science fiction, and it's a really moving, high idealed vision of the future. And I feel like if it was one of those things that took an even greater root in people's like cultural, like, I don't know, the food settling in, like rise or understanding, we'd be a lot better off. And I'd also have flying cars by now.
Yeah, I can't knock its cultural significance, especially at this point, where it seems like the lessons that they taught in that show are more important than ever. But,
Side note, Vest, 2 weeks ago, the first production-ready flying car just made its first flight, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it did.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Side note. Anyway, so yeah, your dream has actually come true.
Well,
oh my gosh.
Just not quite in the way you're probably thinking of it.
It's not mass produced yet, probably.
No, but the first production-ready test
Well,
flight was
Oh,
already completed.
All right, we're
I
getting
mean,
there.
there
We're
was a
getting there.
production-ready flying car in the 50s, I think. They just never capitalized on it.
Mm-hmm.
The 50s
Well,
were a
they
different
took
time,
they did
too.
Yeah, they did another round, and it was 2 weeks ago, I think, week or 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it's been done.
All right, then. Flying cars, hoverboards. We had those shoes from Nike.
The, like,
The
self-lacing ones.
The auto lace ups.
the auto
Yeah.
lace ups. The future from the past is almost here, guys.
Yeah.
Almost.
Welcome,
Getting there.
corporate overlords.
This game looks really interesting. I'm gonna look at it a little further. I know it's coming soon. I'm honestly very interested in the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be some good ambient soundtrack music stuff that you can kind of like sink into and vibe with. And it looks good, so I'll keep it on my radar.
Yeah.
If it were multiplayer, I would be like, let's try this and see if it is a more complete version of No Man's Sky at launch. But it doesn't look like it's multiplayer, so.
Yeah.
Oof, look at you and your steep requests.
Yeah, this game would be a whole lot better if you had a wonderful side of mushrooms to eat while you played it. It just seems like that kind of game. Just, chill out and, vibe. What's next? Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles.
It's a good, really good series if you want to watch it. And the movie is very good too. And
Oh yeah.
the next season, I don't know when it is, but I'm sure it is slated. And I, for one, have never really been interested in anime video games. I know our mutual friend Jasmine is all about them. She owns like every single one that has ever existed, but not me.
Yeah, I'd rather just leave it as the animation and leave it right there where I enjoy it the most, because this is not something I would enjoy the most.
So two things. The first is, out of the anime games that I've seen over the years, this one actually looks really well done. Like, it's faithful to the animation. The combat looks like it would be fun to play as, and it seems like it's rooted in the story, but not so much so that it's so on rails that you're just not having fun with it. But, and I'm so sorry to say this, guys, this is where you gang up on me. I really don't like this art style.
Like for the game or for the anime?
For the anime. Like, I've tried watching Demon Slayers twice now, and I just cannot get into it. Especially when I see Chicken Guy. I'm just like, I hate him.
Chicken
guy?
What are you talking about?
It's one of the, he's got like a brother. I don't even know the name of the character, but he's got like a brother. He's maybe one of the leaders in the demon hunter place, and his hair looks like a mix between a rooster and a phoenix feather.
Are you talking about the fire demon slayer?
Sure.
Yeah,
he looks
so,
like
like
he'd be a
crazy
fire demon slayer.
eyebrows.
Maybe he's got a brother. He's got longer hair. Anyway, he looks like a chicken.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take your word for
I've
it.
just
It's just not ringing any
never
bells.
got into this. Here, I'll find it and send it to you guys.
Okay.
But look, we can keep going.
I have some pretty large beef with seeing anime represented with American voices, because I think it's always 100% of the time a mismatch.
Yeah, that's usually a big turnoff for the dubs in a lot of different animations, is that you have the original and you have the manga, and those two, or sorry, the original one made in Japan, those two sort of jive together, and then you throw in an English voice that does not have the appropriate inflections on the current scenario that's occurring, and does not have like the appropriate tone that they should have given the character in the manga background, and it just throws everything off.
Well, the dub scene and voice acting has improved by leaps and bounds over the years, but I still don't think it is where it should be in order to match the Japanese voices, and I don't think they will ever get there because of just the amount of lead that Japan has when, voice acting their own work. I'm not knocking the amount of work that dubbers and voice actors are doing. They're doing a pretty good job with what they got, but it's a no for me, boss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm still very much burnt on the Naruto name inflection issue when it comes to dubbing and subbing, and I just don't understand, or not dubbing and subbing, but subbing, and I'm like, how does that happen?
Yeah, how is it so wrong so many
How
times?
is it so wrong, and to the point where like millions of American kids are saying the name like that, and I'm like, where did that hard
inflection on the first syllable
come from? If you watch the actual Japanese series, like, no one pronounces it that way. No one. I just don't get it. And so I'm still pissed about that. I'm still taking all voice actors to task for that one person screwing that up.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
me too. Shall we move on?
Yep.
Lost Judgment.
Okay.
I don't really know what to think about this game. It's kind of weird.
It's the same people that made Yakuza, and
okay. That kind of explains why.
I loved the photorealistic models that they have and the seriousness, and then I completely lost the thread when he started to do karaoke and it was a button time thing. I would love to play this game if it was an actual investigation of a murder, police drama set in Tokyo kind of thing. But Japan has to Japan, and I think that's what this game is.
Yeah.
I saw a Twitter question, meme, clout chase, whatever you want to call it, that asked this question. And it was, my significant other, I think they said wife, has been kidnapped. I'm in a foreign city. My wife has been kidnapped. And it's now 2 a.m. The police are sending me home after a grueling day of helping their search. Should I complete my skincare routine? And I feel like the karaoke in this is kind of like the should I complete my skincare routine?
Yeah, totally.
The answer, of course, is yes. You should.
Oh, I've spent 13 hours looking for my wife. Let me make sure that I have enough of pocket money saved up to go and play pachinko for at least 30 minutes, and then go home.
Sometimes you gotta save you gotta keep with the normal things to keep yourself going, and or as someone in this thread put it, I need to keep looking good in case they don't find her. So my jaw dropped at that one, and I realized that people are funny. Why do we hate each other so much as a species when we're as funny as we are?
Different colored lenses.
Yeah,
Yep.
I guess so.
I've never played the games in the Yakuza series. I do watch either not full playthroughs, but some of the playthroughs, and of course the really over the top moments from the games, and so I'm interested to see the juxtaposition from other people's playthroughs of like those gritty, hard hitting, emotional, or just balls to the walls fight things that happen in this game versus your karaoke striptease. Like, I'm here for it. Someone play this and let me watch you.
You're gonna play this?
No, I said somebody play this.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna watch you.
Definitely one of those YouTube playthrough evenings, and then you can go, well, okay, that's satisfactory, and then you move on.
That's done. I've watched somebody perfect every single boxing mini game and every single dance routine video game.
I mean, but how can you not want to watch somebody master the like Inishiba like attack move where you're fighting with your pet dog? Like, that's awesome.
I mean, I suppose so, but like,
go attack Shiba Inu.
the feeling of it is too jumpy for me to want any of it.
I get that.
I recognize that that's some people's bag. It's just not mine.
Yep.
True. All right. I think we're good.
Well,
on
next
that
on
one.
the list is 100% your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And the rise of the increasing rise of the director's cut.
Kojima
Death Stranding director's cut.
and the floating baby.
Yeah, it's not in a tank this time. He's just hovering
Yeah.
this time around.
Let me tell you something. Will not be purchasing.
Really?
Yeah, not interested.
There's not enough additives, but you have this guy's abs.
Norman Reedus?
Norman Reedus is his abs.
Porter? Yeah. Listen, you play through that once and you find out what it is, and then you realize, oh yeah, this is a Kojima game, and then you move on. You're there for the like the weirdness of what it is, and then once you figure out what his angle is, there's nothing left. So you just disappear.
It's kind of like once the mystery's solved, there's no more enamor with it.
Yeah, kind of. I've always found trying to replay Kojima's games very difficult to do.
Yeah.
Because like once you know it once, you're good. You got the rest. You're fine.
But mounted guns.
I also don't really like and you brought this up a little bit, I don't really like the trend of director's cuts games or anything like that.
Does it feel like more of a cash grab rather than anything substantial to offer?
Well, why are you going to market it as a director's cut when you already have a name for this and it's the Game of the Year edition? And why are you going to be releasing a Game of the Year edition when you could just release it as DLC? They're renaming a thing that's been renamed that doesn't need to exist, is where I am on this.
So I'm thinking cash grab.
Well, yes and no. I mean, it is a remaster. It's an honest remaster for the next gen consoles, right?
Has it been long enough for a remaster? Is that what they're calling this?
Well, hold on. Maybe I'm using the term remaster. But in this trailer, they mention upgraded graphics for next gen.
Yeah.
So I just take that to be remaster, right?
Okay. Sure.
So like that's what that is, plus additional features. Or that's what this game is, plus some additional features. I am 100% with you on the director's cut angle. Is this the first director's cut of a game?
No.
Quote unquote.
There was another one that came out, I want to say like 2 weeks ago, that they called the director's cut. I don't remember what it was.
Ghost of Tsushima?
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Well, no, I'm saying, well, okay, so if Ghost is first, whatever. I'm just saying is like, is this the first iteration that we have seen in gaming of something being called a director's cut? If it is, then I think part of that, please forgive me, Kojima, but part of that feeds into his wanting to cross that boundary between video game direction and film direction, and having the artistry of video game direction be recognized in the same category and class as film.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't think it's necessary here. I'm with you. Like, it is the Game of the Year edition. But you know, if they want to rebrand it, go ahead, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess.
Or maybe it's Sony rebranding Game of the Year into director's cuts.
Yeah, because they really only ever said that, like, use the director's cut moniker for Sony titles, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
And it fits with Kojima, I guess, because, goddamn, just let the guy make a movie at this point, right?
It's coming. But see, here's the thing. I don't think he wants to make a movie. I mean, he does want to make a movie, but I don't think he wants to just be a movie. I think he wants to do an interactive experience. Like, that's what he is aiming for, the next generation of film where you are in the film.
I think he is looking for a media format that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah. Well, he's on the forefront of inventing it.
Yeah, totally. But it's not where he needs it to be for him to be able to tell these stories that he wants to tell. It's going to have to be some other kind of media. And he's got relatively close with video games, but yeah.
So here's what I see. 10 years from now, Kojima's still here. Universal
100%.
Studios Japan releases Kojima's penultimate work. It's a 10-person seated VR or 4D chamber. And you're locked in it for 8 hours, experiencing this film game.
Yeah.
And because he is so good at apparently predicting disastrous applications of technology in the future, year 3, a group of aspiring film students are going to be trapped in that chamber. Those 10 students will be trapped in that chamber for 5 years. When they come out, they will walk into Death Stranding, which is Kojima's ultimate goal.
To bring about the end of the world via Death Stranding?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
or the beginning of a new world.
So let's add to this like meta narrative that we've got going on. You're going to know it is a Kojima production, but when you arrive to the gigantic big square box chamber that you are going to spend an entire day in, it's not going to have any writing on it, and it's not going to have, there's no branding on it, but everybody knows it's some shit Kojima did.
You think I am 100% riffing like out of the butt for this, but I am also pulling together pieces of media that are out there. So that cube that we're describing, it's like the volume that they used to film things in for The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But it's the next level of that.
So
your chairs insert into you in very awkward ways, but it also it helps you because you're going to be in that room for 8 hours. So
that's true. Nutrient
what
supply
do you think,
and
Arcadius? Did we go too far left for Arcadius? I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't know where he went.
Oh no, I've just been enjoying this little tangent here. This has been an interesting organic development here, so I'm just enjoying it.
Dude, can we take a small foray into the speculation zone right quick?
You know,
I thought you were kind of already there.
Oh, well, I guess so. But, like, officially, it's speculation zone.
Okay.
Do you think that Sony has decided to rename re-release games as director's cuts after the success of Zack Snyder's director's cut of Justice League?
I can see that as being an influence.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's like a direct, but I do see it as being an influence.
PR stuntman stuff at play there, so to speak.
But I also do, like, I pinned it all on Kojima there, but I really do see it as a branding to elevate the perception of video games in the video game storytelling and art form in a way that more clearly makes it appear to film. Yeah. Because there is so much, there are so many film elements in video games, and it's been like that for so long. So I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying that Sony's also trying to win an Oscar.
Yeah.
But if 10 years from now there's a category in the Oscars, I will point back to this and say this is one of the long goal lines that Sony Media put in place to get there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're playing the long game and starting now. Category Best Interactive Movie.
Yes.
Or something. I don't know what they're going to call it.
Yeah, that's it.
You two have not played Death Stranding, right?
No.
No, I just watched you and I was like, what the hell is happening?
Y'all need to play Death Stranding. Y'all have got to play Death Stranding.
I've never wanted to deliver mail.
The Amazon delivery guy?
Well, you're like, you can deliver stuff besides mail.
You can.
This is true.
Quite often you deliver dead bodies.
Yeah.
See? You are the closure that someone else needs.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
before
man.
your spouse explodes and there's a gigantic crater in the earth.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Oh, God.
that's part of the
Just Death
plot.
Stranding things.
Oh my gosh.
You guys, you need to play this game. Like, you're going
Okay,
to be
but
baffled
first-
until the very end, and you're going to be like, "Oh, okay."
Okay, I have to finish the Mass Effect trilogy first. I can't just stop mid stride. I have to finish that, and when I finish that, I will look at playing the next thing.
You got a long way to go.
Okay.
Mass Effect.
I know. I gotta get back on.
All right, last thing on the list, so we'll keep it going. Deathloop.
Deathloop. What do y'all think?
The premise of the game itself, to me, makes it seem like it's kind of grindy, even though it's not really intended to be that way, simply because you do have a lot of variation in how to explore your exit, so to speak, of how to get out of the loop. But it just seems like a lot of over and over and over of the same, and maybe we just haven't seen enough of the game to know it's not that. But that's what it kind of feels like to me. That's kind of a turnoff to me.
I still think it is the most stylish game of the past 2 years.
Has it got an injection
Hell yeah.
of 90s in it?
90s?
Yeah. Oh, like 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not I've never done well with Arcane Studios games. I just have never been able to fall into them and excel in a way that makes me feel good about gaming. I still think it's a really interesting premise. I still want to watch someone play it. I still think that these are some great trailers and the gameplay looked fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I've arrived to the idea that it's just not for me.
That makes sense. So, when I look at it, I think, man, that looks really, really cool. But hold on, they've added roguelike elements to it. I'm not interested in that. And this other person that's constantly hunting you down could possibly be another player. I'm also not interested in that. Well, it would be great if this game did not have that element in the game. Well, that already exists. That's Dishonored 1 and 2. Oh, yeah, I haven't finished either of those games. I've always dropped it and been, like, never felt like I needed to pick it back up again. So I have already, like, pulled myself out of wanting it with, you know, logic.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do see the roguelike elements to it. Most stylish roguelike I've ever seen. I am more interested in, if I were to play another roguelite, and it's not my favorite, despite my adherence to you guys at least trying Hades, at least trying it because it's so good. Outside of that, like I'm not into that. But the only other one that I'm interested in trying right now would be Returnal, and even that one doesn't really excite me as much because even though people who have told me that the narrative is pretty good, it seems very sparse in comparison to what I experienced and just 100% loved, like dove in it and just loved it once I got what was going on.
Returnal seems merciless, and that's why I can't bring myself to play it.
It's not, but it's not that, but it is difficult because of the bullet hell aspects of it, right?
Yeah.
But this one I'm just not. I did link a article to this because even I was just a little bit like, oh, there's a lot of neck snapping in this. And so I was looking for articles about the game to add to our list. I did see somewhere where Game Informer reached out to Arcane Studios, and they said that they did confirm that you can complete Deathloop without snapping any necks. And it's funny, and I'm sure some people will feel, like, oh, hurry-burgy, gamers aren't real gamers, snap necks, blah blah blah. And then other people will be like, this is cool. But I've brought this up before, but it just reminded me of when I had to put out Poseidon's eyes when I played God of War 3, and I didn't want to do that, and I couldn't progress through the game without doing that. There, I mean, like everyone has different sensibilities, and it's just nice that there's an option that I have no problem with doing X, Y, and Z, but this really intimate thing in this game, I don't really want to interact with it that way. Can I not do it? And the studio says, no, you don't have to do this specific thing.
Yeah. This is the article that you were talking about, written by Liana Ruppert from Game Informer. She does a lot of good stuff. And if you haven't paid attention to her, what are you doing? Pay attention to her. She's awesome, especially in this industry. But yeah, let's see. Neck snapping as a means of submission is not mandatory. She reached out to Arcane on Twitter, as Fast has said, and somebody got back to them. No neck snap is mandatory.
Yep. Now, this doesn't mean that you can just get through the game as a conscientious observer. Like you can't. There's not a passive role in this like there are in like some MMOs and stuff like that. But you don't have to do that specific thing, which I can see some people objecting to. So that's cool.
Yeah, totally. Well, we've aired that out. Do we want to move on to something else?
Yeah.
Yes, because there's more on the list, but I'm not going to make us go through everything.
Okay.
So I will
well,
say,
I was gonna pick something that's close to what I enjoy, and that's Baldur's Gate.
let's hit it.
Okay, Baldur's Gate. They are releasing an update on, I want to say the 15th. Yeah, I think it's the 15th, where they have updated quite a few things in the game. They've made it meatier, but they aren't releasing any new content yet. They are just tweaking the content that is there. And I'm pretty happy with what they're doing. They've updated some cutscenes. They've made dice rolls a little bit better. That kind of thing. I'm going to roll the video for a little while, but mostly I'm just going to be talking over it and pointing out the things that are probably the best that I see, and I'm trying to pick out the dice roll aspect of it. I don't remember where it is. No! Oh no! Is this it? No, this is the camp setting. So I could talk about this pretty quick, I guess.
Yeah. While you're looking for it, what was so egregious about the dice rolling?
Well, they've been messing around with dice rolling quite a bit, and at first it was very, very punishing.
Just all around really bad.
It was pretty punishing. Like
the one time I watched you play this game is the only time you rolled like multiple 20s in a single battle session.
Yeah.
Is what I remember you telling me that never happens ever.
The one time that you watched was the one
like
time
the best
dice
rolling
were ever in my
ever done.
favor.
And even that battle was what I would call like pretty of fair difficulty, not super hard.
Totally.
But if that's what the difficulty was with fantastic rolls, like that game would be pretty brutal most days.
So here is the revamped dice roll system that they had, which has increased functionality and stuff. So what you're looking at is a roll plus your charisma modifier for whatever it is you're doing, plus your proficiency, plus guidance that another one of the characters in the party can give you, which is something that you had to attempt to do beforehand, and you never knew when dialogue was going to crop up, so you just never cast certain spells or cantrips, like guidance, which gives you an additional d4 to any check that you want. And it's a cantrip, so you can cast it whenever you want. And as long as you have somebody in the party that has guidance, you can buff your rolls if you really want, which is going to make these checks a lot more in line with what you can do in D&D, and also like more forgiving, especially from the way that they've redone some dice rolls to make the dice a little bit more favorable to, like, especially to a narrative aspect. It's very great to see, as somebody who has stumbled through the first play of the game, probably never rolling above a 12.
Oh man, that's
Ouch.
rough.
Yeah,
that is just. Oh man, how did you survive that? That just sounds impossible.
It was really hard, especially
Painstaking.
considering that I played a Gith and nobody likes the Gith. So it was real hard, but I lived. But they're updating it
Painfully.
now, and it's going to be great. And I'm going to go back and play it a little bit more just to see what is up. Let me see what else they did. We can talk about like camps and stuff like that. Oh, this is inspiration. And instead of the way that they used to have it was that passing certain story thresholds would give your character a point of inspiration that you could use to re-roll a bad roll. Well, in this one, what they've done is they have certain little objectives that you can pass for each character that will give you inspiration, which is great because it'll, one, give you more inspiration, and two, help your characters play more like what they're supposed to, which is fantastic. Let's see. They talked a lot about like the camping aspect and stuff like that. Let me see if I can pull that up right quick. So in campsites, the way it used to be was that there was one campsite for the entire game. It didn't matter where you were. When you chose long rest, you would go to that campsite and camp. Now the campsites reflect wherever you are. So if you're in a cave, you're gonna camp in a cave. If you're in an old crypt, you're gonna camp in a crypt, which is really nice. And another thing they did was they decided to make food useful. Before,
really?
I think it just took up inventory weight.
It's just a thing you could do for giggles.
Yeah, but now you can carry food, and that will influence the quality of your long rest. Like, going to sleep on a full stomach will give you a full long rest, but if you don't meet that requirement, you will have more of a shallow rest, and you won't get back as much as much as you would. And I can see myself definitely turning that off and not dealing with food, but it gives food a purpose, which is fantastic, because I never carried around all that much other than when I just wanted to shove a whole bunch of food in my mouth when I was like out of potions. That was about the only reason to carry it around. But you know, they have a purpose now. And there's a whole bunch of other things, but I think those are the main ones that I wanted to talk about in their update.
Well, the other big thing is that, you know, they wasn't official, but they did give us a little bit of a release window, and it was caveated, but hopefully somewhere in 2022.
Yeah.
So, as someone who's playing in early access, what do you think that means? It means that they're taking the game out of early access and it'll have a beginning, middle, end, or that they'll have the first phase of the game completed, which might be beginning to middle. Like, I'm not sure how much you have access to in early access.
So in early access, you only have the first chunk of story, which I want to say is like the first fifth or the first third of the game. I don't know if they're going to be releasing any more story content in early access, or they're just going to wait until the game drops in proper to release more story. But if they release the game with the amount of story that they have in early access, which, don't get me wrong, is quite a bit for a game, like, the amount of content that is in their early access is far and away more than I have seen in the biggest budget AAA releases in recent memory, Destiny. And can't go a single podcast without shitting on them. I would be disappointed if they did not release more story content as a full release whenever they decided to release it. I don't know their schedule for that. They also have a lot more to actually add into the game. They made the promise of being able to play as any class from D&D, and right now,
any class, official class,
any official class, yeah.
Okay.
And right now they do not have that. They have what? Wizard, rogue, ranger, cleric, warlock, and fighter, and druid. So they don't have barbarian, they don't have sorcerer, they don't have paladin, they don't have, what else? A couple others. Either that or somebody's gonna seriously call my D&D cred into question. But yeah, I really want to play as a paladin and stack on some divine smite, but I can't do that yet. And so they have a long way to go, and I think that's why they have the caveat of hopefully somewhere in 2022. But I will definitely be there for it when it releases.
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks really cool.
Yeah.
I look forward to watching you and Jasmine play it.
It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun, especially with the chaos energy that Jasmine brings to any game.
Oh my gosh. Is that
So
the
true.
kind of character she always plays as? Just that kind of
No, okay.
spastic, sporadic, or is this just something she wanted to do for our particular session?
No,
Or-
take out the idea of character. That's who Jasmine is.
Oh man.
It
Well
is an
then.
avatar of self,
She's
and
great.
I'm here for it. I'm here
she's
for it.
Wonderful. That's all I want to say about Baldur's Gate. Do we want to move on?
Yeah, where to next?
Oh, well, we have a few things up here. We have Diablo 4. I think we could talk about that at length.
Yeah. We did say we were going to talk about Diablo.
Yeah, let's talk about some Diablo. I have their quarterly update up now, and boy, there's a lot. And I'm just gonna just quietly scroll through as we talk about it. How about that?
Do it.
Boop, 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 boop,
Oh,
boop.
I lost the stream. Gotta pull it back up.
So, we played a lot of Diablo 3, and I think we all enjoyed it quite a bit.
How many hours of Diablo 3 did we play together? Like, it was a lot.
It was a lot.
It was quite a bit.
It was a lot.
I have I forgot what they technically called it, but I have like a prestige level 600
levels?
necromancer.
Oh, the
The,
leveling.
like,
Yep. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
honor levels or whatever they call it. I forgot what they
Yeah,
called
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's been a while since
I
I
don't
played,
remember either.
but that's not even
Yeah.
close to where a lot of other people have played this, to the point that other people have played this game.
Truth.
But this will be the first Diablo that we will all be able to start playing as a group.
Together.
And it's going to be wonderful. Right, everybody?
Okay, question. When did this Diablo supposed to be released? Wow, canned words. When this game coming out?
I don't know. Have they put a release date on it?
They might not have, which is why I'm asking, because I don't remember reading one yet. It's more of just a teaser. Hey guys, we're still doing the thing, and then that's like all they're gonna give us for now.
Yeah, Vast, did you know?
I don't. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, I don't think so. And again, I'm not. They might not have, and that's fine. I just wanted to double check if y'all had seen a date.
No, I haven't yet,
Release.
unfortunately.
Well then, they are just teasing us with goodies and characters and edits and graphics, and which are really, really good from the last Diablo. Like, if you're gonna hold
Yeah.
last Diablo up to this Diablo, it's like, oh my gosh,
So
is it even the same game?
But are we
Uh,
even going to see that level of fidelity in the character, or is that just for cutscenes?
Oh,
Well, even if it's just for cutscenes, that's still glorious.
Yeah,
Well-
no, I'm not knocking it. I'm just asking.
it's gonna be shrunk down to that little tiny isometric sprite that's running around on
With a little arrow above it
yeah.
and a little circle beneath your feet.
But listen,
It's
you
firing lasers.
you know about how much blood you spill as you swing your axe through the hordes of bad guys.
Oh yeah, the only way
That's
you'll
what
know where
matters.
you are is the holographic colored ring that shows through enemies and buildings and stuff. Because you won't be able to see yourself. It's just gonna look like a blender.
Yeah. That's what this game is good at.
Yeah. Initiate blend protocols. Grind up everything.
They really
So,
took
yeah.
a dive into art and talking about character options. And
even some animations they're working on for how the lighting effects against, flesh, blood, fur,
yeah.
and give you a little tiny peek at some of the monsters they intend to throw into this game and what they're gonna be about, how they're gonna kind of look, essentially.
Yeah. So, Vass, let me ask you a question here.
Some of these guys are creepy AF.
This
Ask
picture,
away.
this picture I'm looking at, since you
Okay.
are big on skin tone and all of that, does this look up to the bar that you want them to meet?
Actually, yes. And you could tell this for me by the undertones of all of the characters. The lady on the far, what is this? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Her undertone to me is a little muddy,
This one?
but
Ooh.
yes. It's a little muddy, but everybody else looks like they have the right undertone, which means that their skin doesn't look muddy, muted, or gray. It looks like they actually studied real people's skin tones and were able to mimic that in game. I was impressed when I saw this.
Well, maybe the lady on the right just has the flu and it was bad picture day.
Like it doesn't look bad. Like I said, it was
Yeah.
it's just a little, to me.
She's
it
holding
looks a
it
little
in,
muddy.
and her eyes scream, "Boy, I feel like shit, but I had to take this photo for picture day anyways."
But I could tell that their team is doing an excellent job. Excellent job.
It's one of the last frontiers in gaming is to be able to get skin right. And CG in general. And
Yeah.
Blizzard is doing well for this, I think. I agree with you.
Progressing steadily.
Yeah.
Wait, what engine is this game being built in?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look that up real quick.
I could search it and see if it's written here. Diablo game cinematics in the Diablo 4 game engine. Art team, engineering.
Oh, it's using a new engine.
Oh, is it?
I just pulled up this article, first thing hit. So Diablo 4 will be using a brand new engine and will allow the camera to zoom out and have better animations conjunctively.
Cool.
The team has not revealed any specific details about the new engine, but it did state that the game now uses physically based rendering, which I believe is one of what they're trying to tout in that article that you had pulled up.
So
It
wait.
says what it means is that the team can render things in a more realistic way with regards to lighting, skin textures, and interactions between the two for metal, skin, blood, fur, hair, or other realistic looks with lighting.
Cool.
Does it say is it in house or are they just obliquely referencing Unreal Engine 5?
Well, that's what I kind of wondered because of some of the render capability. Well, it just says a new game engine, so they might subtly be referencing the fact that they're using Unreal 5. And I wouldn't doubt it based on some of the pictures they posted. Like, would not doubt it at all.
Oh my god, the triangles are so sexy.
There's so many triangles in that
wouldn't
picture.
put it past them to have their own proprietary engine that they've developed specifically for Diablo, too.
That's true. Yeah. Hey, this is
okay. I don't think it's Unreal 5 because on one of their final points, they said Blizzard was also able to improve the environmental destructibility and the game's animations thanks to the new engine, that it will now feel smoother thanks to some new animation techniques used with the engine.
Okay.
And let's see here. Yeah, they've added a lot of animation technology, blending animation and having stop animations, and having different animations make the movement feel very different than Diablo 3. It's all increasing the resolution, and in action, it makes the movement feel more fluid with stuff like character turns looking better and other game interactions.
Okay.
It sounds a little homebrewed.
Yeah. So what were you gonna say, Vast, before all that?
Oh no, I was just when he said that I do recall there being a significant animation portion of the new Unreal Engine. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was one of the things they touted. You wouldn't have to go to another software to do animations. You could do it in Unreal, with of course way better explanations. I just really dumbed that down because I'm a dumb person. But the other thing I was going to ask, and this is like a really in the weeds question, like a super in the weeds question. But do you think that um, big AAA studios can partner with Unreal to make a more in-house, like to take Unreal 5 and then do in-house customizations to it to tailor
Um,
it more instead of
well,
completely building something out the
the
box?
the Unreal Engine didn't really specify that kind of stuff, but considering how buildy block style that Unreal 5 is alleged to be, I would imagine that with a little bit of effort, you could absolutely write custom API for it to do certain things, and that custom API would belong solely to the other developers that requested the Unreal 5, basically access to the API.
Okay.
So you'd have Unreal 5, which would get licensed out at some term, and then there would be a special toolbox provided by Epic Games with Unreal 5 to say, okay, here's this type of source code that we use. Here's how you're able to modify these certain things. Have at it. And they basically license that out. And that's done with quite a few different softwares that I'm aware of that you can do stuff like that. But the game has to be constructed in, or sorry, not the game. The program or software has to be constructed in such a way to support external API outside its core functions. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of an Epic, a Unreal 5 developer question. But I would imagine that it's possible if they've designed Unreal 5 to do that.
I'm gonna come at your question from a different angle.
Okay.
I think Microsoft would use this tool extensively if they really wanted to. I think Sony is too egotistical to use it. I think they're going to use their own toolbox.
I'd believe that. There could be some truth in that.
Wait. When you say toolpot box, what do you mean?
Their own proprietary stuff, everything that they've already built for in-house Sony projects, stuff like that. Their own engines.
Yeah. I'll go back and forth. I'll say it depends on the project, and the only reason I say that is because they've made such a big show of partnering with Unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that it's got to be a base for some of their studios. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think they're EA and Dice, or not EA and Dice, but Frostbite. I do not think Sony is EA and Frostbite.
Well, I'm taking a look at the engine for Horizon Zero Dawn, and it's the Decima engine. And it was made by Guerrilla Games.
Yes, but what was God of War built on?
Let's see. God of
Because I'm
War.
pretty sure that's Unreal 4.
God of War engine. Does God of War 2018 run on?
While you're looking that up, can I say something that's totally probably inappropriate, and I'm apologizing in advance?
Sure.
Right now, the screen is looping on Big McLarge Huge, and
Yeah.
it's showing off the different color
Yeah, the
combinations
die system.
and metals. Yeah, like, which I think it looks really cool. But every time it changes, it like makes his shoulders moves.
Uh-huh.
And it has brought my attention to his big boobas. Are his nipples oddly placed, or is it just me?
Listen, they're way far apart, all right?
Okay. I'm just sitting here staring at these heaving boobas on the screen. I'm just like, they look
Large
off.
pectorals.
His nipples just
Yeah.
look off, and I was just wondering if I needed to go outside and touch some grass.
This
or if
is
they
when
were
the
really
artist
weird.
gets rushed right before a preview launch, and he's like, "But I haven't finished his nipples," and they're like, "Just put them on." And like, "Okay." he just does a quick click, drag and drop, and that's it. He doesn't get another moment to appropriately place.
Okay, I'm glad it's not just me. I was really thought I was going crazy there, guys.
Okay,
Oh, man.
so in this article that I'm looking at from Shack News, I don't know if they're reputable or not, as confirmed via an email exchange with a Sony public relations correspondent, God of War runs on an engine developed in-house specifically for God of War.
I believe it.
So it is not Unreal.
I mean, truth be told, Unreal 5, or maybe I guess not Unreal 4, but the Unreal 5's pretty spanking new, so I'd imagine that we won't really see Unreal 5 games for at least another year or so.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack in that toolbox.
A lot.
What is the game that they partnered on then? Was it for Project Atlia?
Athia?
Now Forsaken? Athia, now Forsaken?
I don't know. I guess we could look.
Well, I'm just bringing it up because we watched that.
Yeah.
Big thing, and there was like that big partnership cross promotional dealy that was, Sony and Unreal 100% get on this. But that's a year ago. Times change.
Yeah, that's true.
But Diablo 4 on the list.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yes. Oh, it is on the list. Absolutely.
They also have not they've not stated a release date, but we can pretty well confirm that it's not this year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I also find it kind of interesting that they're making so many promises about how well you can customize your character when Diablo is traditionally a game that is made with the color palettes of gray and brown in mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the core colors.
There is not a single lit corridor or pasture in the entire game.
Mm-mm.
You're
and
running
as we
through
noted
gray
before,
expanse.
Gray expanse covered by gray enemies or glowing
or the brown
enemies.
dirts. Don't forget the brown dirts.
Until you attack them, and then it's like a spike of color into your eyes and a gigantic spray of crimson blood.
A water balloon of red, and then it goes back to your nice dirt.
I'm excited.
I have a pinch of blue with the ghouls and stuff in there.
Oh, I'm excited too. It's gonna be a great game.
And I think it's cool that they're giving us updates, scheduled updates
definitely.
of progress and letting us know what's happening here.
So I should warn you guys that when Diablo 3 released originally, I want to say it was like 2012 or 2013, it was in a horrible, horrible, horrible state.
Was it?
And it was totally broken. And the way that they had like the player shop and stuff like that made the game incredibly easy to cheese because of the marketplace that they ran, where you could just purchase the best weapons and run through whatever.
Interesting. I don't think I got on the Diablo train till much, much later. Like, hadn't it been out for like a solid year or so before I bought it and we started playing?
I don't know. The only reason why I even know this bit of information is because my roommate at the time got Diablo 3 when it came out, like the day it came out. And I witnessed it all firsthand.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well then. Let's hope they do not repeat that mistake.
I'm just setting y'all up so that y'all
So they pulled a dice.
y'all possibly will not be so
They pulled a Battlefield.
like hedge your bets, all right? Like gird your
Well,
loins.
No. There is a reason why we wound up playing Diablo when we did.
Yeah, totally.
And that was, and that was one of the many reasons. Also, it was on sale.
Yeah, that doesn't
But
hurt.
they
Also,
had-
we didn't have anything else to play, too.
Yeah. But they had fixed all of those issues, is what I'm trying to say.
They did.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just letting y'all know that the possibility exists that they're going to have to fix issues again when this comes out.
Well, like many things in life, I am willing to wait.
The console
Oh,
release
he's
of
so
this game
patient,
was
Best.
also a different release date than the PC release of this game.
Mm-hmm.
You think that was to help control the troubleshooting pool?
It was probably to it was mostly difficulty with porting, like how to rearrange like quick bar in relation to mapping it to controller so it feels good and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
How the UI will work on console versus the UI in a PC game, which have very different aspects to think about and different layouts to think about, like what feels the best, what goes where people look, because it definitely differs between PC and console.
Mm-hmm.
Quite.
All right, guys, let's hit a couple more topics and then see where we land on what next.
Donk, donk, donk. I don't know. Where do y'all want to go? We can talk about some Assassin's Creed. Y'all interested in that at all?
Not really.
All right, fuck Assassin's Creed then. Oh, I just landed on putting Clippy on your Microsoft Teams background. We can hit that right quick.
Okay, I wanted to
Clippy, that
I wanted
smug bastard.
I wanted to give a very polite business chuckle to this marketing move from Microsoft. They're continuing to push and pressure and invite you to use their Teams, which is part of their Office suite productivity get together stuff. And they've rolled out backgrounds for your Teams meetings, and one of them was Clippy.
I
And
cannot
whoever-
believe they resurrected this SOB. Oh my god.
Icon, legendary.
And whoever came up with this, though, this is inspired. You can't tell me. You can't tell me that this isn't a
100%.
good.
I want to have heard the silence that befell the room when the guy was like, "Hey, let's bring back Clippy." And then there's just that moment everyone turns their heads in the meeting.
You
Like,
know there's
what'd
a
you say?
contingent of people in Microsoft that have little Clippy lapel pins that walk
Oh,
around.
absolutely.
Flair.
The Clippy fan club? Oh, you best believe the Clippy fan club in Microsoft is alive and well.
Oh, man.
And the fact that one of their fan club people in management was able to suggest this and get it put in has reinvigorated the fan base of Clippy.
Yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to bring
Oh,
up to you,
man.
like this is a question I had, like looking at this, is this background, was this background created in Photoshop, or is it a miniature?
Oh.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I could almost buy the fact that this could be a miniature because I have seen some people make excellent miniatures. I mean, just holy smokes, blow your socks off miniatures. So this is absolutely something that could be pulled off by a miniature artist.
The only reason I ask is because the when I was looking at this earlier, that's the steps and how
Looks
they
like a
connect.
Lego? Oh no!
Yeah.
Look at the base that he's on. It looks like the little circular four nub Lego where it's got the
Oh,
little cutout
yeah.
on each corner.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that little pedestal right there looks like a white circular four square Lego piece that he's actually on. So That's why I would also believe it's a miniature.
Yeah.
If you were
Because
to
otherwise that would
take-
be a stupid-looking pedestal.
If you were to take the size of those steps in relation to how 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 large steps usually are in the real life, that means that this Clippy is enormous.
He's a F you up, Clippy.
He's huge.
Clippy gonna wreck. Yeah, all that paper, those are the list of the people he's taken out.
So Microsoft, you get a hearty little business chuckle from us.
They
And
also
until I
have
read this today,
Solitaire.
I thought Clippy was solidly dead. But no,
Oh,
he
dude.
is alive.
Clippy,
Alive and well.
Clippy will never die.
He
Never.
lives on in memes now.
Absolutely.
Well, he's definitely going to now.
That meme of "I see you're writing a suicide note" that's been around forever.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also get the Solitaire background if you really wanted. And you can also get the, like, what is it? 2000 or Millennium Edition Hillside thing?
Yeah,
Oh, Windows XP. Yeah, that's what it was.
yeah, the Windows XP background.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And Microsoft Paint if you really wanted to. The
Microsoft Paint one is pretty clever.
the starter kit for every kid that grew up with a PC that did not natively come with internet. Microsoft Paint
Yes.
and Pinball 3D.
Indeed.
Nostalgia train.
Oh boy,
It's hit
The
me.
world is your oyster.
Played way
Paint
too
away.
much Pinball 3D and Paint.
Side note, did y'all ever see the guy who perfectly recreated the Mona Lisa using only Microsoft Paint?
I think I did see that.
Go watch that YouTube video. It's a sped up one, obviously, of like 40 hours or something worth of work. But yeah, he like perfectly recreates the Mona Lisa with paint. And yeah, it's pretty spectacular.
That's dedication to a craft that no one gives
Oh,
a shit about.
absolutely. Not at all. But man, is it some social kudos points.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you do? I'm the guy who made the Mona Lisa in Microsoft Paint. Whoa! And then there you go. It ends right there.
Well, I'll give you an upvote in Reddit. Now go away. So, Vast, is there anything that you want to hit? You got the floor.
Yeah, really quick. I want to hit Sony buying Housemarque and Nixxes
Okay, I'll pull
and
that up.
the Nintendo OLED. Those are my last two.
Sure. I'll pull those up right quick, but you can start talking about them right now.
Yeah, I just thought this was really interesting in a world where Microsoft has been making the bigger public purchases to stabilize their platform and their path forward to make the big monies. PlayStation has finally started making those big money moves in public, and purchased Housemarque, which made their current Critical and hit Returnal. Has worked with the studio in the past, making games like Stardust HD and a couple of other games, and they are in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the really interesting things is there was like an interview with the director or the co-founder of Housemarque Studios and a Sony CEO, and they mentioned that while they're being brought into the PlayStation family, they're still, have their own autonomy. They're still be managing their studio the way that they have managed their studio. And they made allusions that within this PlayStation family, that they really encourage the different studios to talk and work and share amongst each other.
Mm-hmm.
Which could just be business speak, but they like an example was, putting together like a dev forum to talk about some new problem solving or software technique type thing to be shared across all of the studios, which I found to be really interesting. And a good way possibly to collaborate, share knowledge, and improve the level of quality and ability um, for all the studios.
Totally.
They also Sony also purchased Nixxes.
Yeah, Nixxes software.
Nixxes.
So Nixxes software, you can't really point to like a specific game series that they have worked on, but what they do is they focus on taking games that already exist and porting them to PC. Which is definitely a skill set that is unique among video game developers, being able to navigate that minefield. And could this possibly mean that Sony is going to be making an attempt to make inroads in the PC market with their games?
Well, yeah, I think that would be meeting Microsoft where, or Xbox rather, meeting Xbox where it plans to be, and having a very solid roster of first party games to stand against and fight back against the news of, because I was 100% thinking that there's no way Xbox would say no, we're not going to like what is it, the Starfield will be launched across all platforms. But their analysts have done the numbers and done the projections and said that they don't need to get other consoles or whatever that part of the player base is, because their Game Pass and or PC base is enough to get the profit numbers that they need, right?
Yeah.
I just didn't think that was going to be the case.
I think they said that the next Elder Scrolls is going to be Microsoft exclusive. Probably Starfield also, but
no, Starfield is. They did say Starfield is.
Okay. I think they also said that about Elder Scrolls, though.
Yeah. But the thing is, they don't have to, because you have the alternative to play it on PC.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to own the Xbox, and that's where they are right now.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not sweating it. I have a PC, and it's still pretty badass, and will be able to handle whatever will be thrown at me for the next couple of years before I have to upgrade anything.
I'm sitting pretty because I don't care about those titles, but
I do.
I do know that there are a lot of people who do, and I could see why that would be very difficult. But Sony is going to make the case that you're not going to need them because we are going to have X, Y, and Z waiting for you, and you'll be able to play those titles on PC too, if that is what Nixxes software will be doing for them.
That's a real possibility.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, company acquisitions are never usually about, the grandeur of what the company's accomplished. No. They want one random little nugget of something they've done that will make them much more money when they scale it up. And that's usually all they care about. Some little tidbit of IP, like, yeah. The rest of that stuff is really cool. We want this. And that's all they normally do.
And if I'm going to be deep in my Sony feelings right now, which is hard to do because, again, I'm lamenting my lack of a PS5. I have faith in Elder Scrolls. I am very curious about the team who is doing StarCraft because I'm not sure if I have faith in that.
What, Starfield?
And that really Starfield. And just because I've seen what has happened to recent Bethesda games. And it's not been pretty, guys, at launch. It's not been pretty.
You're referring to Fallout 76 and the like.
And the like. Their bread and butter, as it were.
Yes.
Like a go-to cash cow title. Not saying they didn't make money, but I'm sure that the launches and the broken state of the games have really hindered them. This is something that having new oversight from Microsoft, or not oversight, but new, guidance, I guess, from oversight can alleviate. But I don't know, guys. I don't know. What do you guys think? This is speculation zone.
One of the things that Pete Hines of Bethesda fame said was that he regretted that they weren't releasing games universally, but that in narrowing the window of machinery that they are releasing on, they can more fine-tune their product. And I think that's true to a point.
Okay, to a point. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea because, like, if you look at first-party titles, they, especially Sony ones and Nintendo ones, they are built for a single piece or sometimes two pieces of hardware at all. And they are usually very well optimized and work nearly perfectly. Where we have seen a lot of fumbles and stumbles have been in third-party titles, especially when you try and go live service and things like that, like Outriders or Anthem or the next Assassin's Creed or whatever Ubisoft is doing now, because boy, that's a can of worms that deserves its own podcast.
Rip Anthem.
They are specifically looking at every single piece of hardware that is out there, and that's like, I feel like it's getting to the point where it's too many irons in the fire to be able to make any kind of cohesive product, especially when you're making, like, God, there's like 4 active Xboxes. There's a myriad of PC parts that you could spec for, and there are 3 active PlayStation variants that you have to think about, and that's all spec that is different. And just even narrowing that window down a little bit will inevitably bring more eyes to focus on similar problems rather than splaying them out. I think it will have a beneficial bend towards making a more quality product, but at the end of the day, I think what they said is purely political.
Yes, I was nodding my head and shaking my head as you went along. Arcadius, what did you think?
I'd be inclined to agree. The only other, I think, differences would just be semantics of how they want to execute most of the decisions that we're just speculating on anyways. So I think by and large, by buying a developer that has experience in the PC porting, it's just one more tool that they'll add to the checklist of game integration aspects. Which is positive, because that will start to expand some of the, I should say, PlayStation exclusivity that might then bridge to both PlayStation and PC, and to sort of use that as a way to nudge out some of the Xbox exclusivities.
All right, last question in the speculation zone, and then do we see, is it possible that this Nixxes, whatever, I'm sorry, software Sony expanding into their first party games into the PC space might also be indicative of some kind of culmination of a new Sony Now storefront type thing that I'm still anticipating, and I keep on bringing it up, hoping that someone gives me some information about it.
I would think probably not, purely because their brand is pretty solidly behind the console, and if nothing else, the platform that they would release on PC would just be, if anything, the easy integration of downloading the content to a PC and getting patches and things like that.
Well, the idea...
They'll probably open their own marketplace, just like Steam, just like Epic Store, just like, everyone seems to have their own store, so...
The idea being that they need to have a solid competitor to put against Xbox Games Pass is really, I think, the crux of the issue. And I think that's what Vast is getting at. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think Sony has a very good answer to it. What I will say is that Sony is positioning itself in this way to make PC gaming more of the no man's land of this like corporate strife, more so than it's going to be in hardware sales.
Mm-hmm.
Probably about right.
It's just really interesting, to take a step back and seeing, well, what's happening in the what's happening in the market. Microsoft acknowledging we're not going to beat Sony on software sale or hardware sales, and they haven't, although they have both allegedly sold very well to bots. I'm still bitter. And then, now Xbox is like playing their hand and this is what's happening. And now Sony is like shaky. It's like watching a mountain shake off the ground and stand up and say, okay, this is what I'm about to do now. So I just find it interesting.
Yeah, totally.
Like proclamation PR.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Or are they just scrambling?
Yeah, they could be doing that too. Here is an article about the new Switch.
OLED.
There we go. Who wants to talk about this one?
I do not own a Switch. But the next Switch I might own will probably be this one, considering it's the updated one.
What do you think about that, Bass?
I just want to hit this really quick because the internet and the gaming media sphere have been trying to hype us up for a new Nintendo Switch Pro since the Nintendo Switch launched.
Mm-hmm.
And Nintendo has been very quiet about it. And I see why now.
It doesn't really quite look like what the expectations would have been had for it.
Not at all. They were like, this is a modest side grade with an updated screen and sizing. And the internet and the gaming sphere were like, this is what the next Switch will look like. The Switch mid cycle next generation look like, and it'll have this, and it'll be faster, and it'll be this. And Nintendo's like, no, it's not. It's not going to do that at all. And so, if I were on that hype train, I would be supremely disappointed.
Deflated.
Not defeated, but
partially
I would be deflated. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it is an upgrade, but you would have expected it to have, like, more RAM and battery life and, that kind of thing. And I just don't understand why it doesn't. other than maybe price point. But why just upgrade the screen?
I don't know. Nintendo kind of does whatever Nintendo does. They don't really take cues or marching orders from anybody. So whatever they put out is just basically like, we are going to give you the privilege of now purchasing this new item from our inventory. So that's usually how Nintendo works. So you might have to wait like another 2 years before you get actual upgrades in your Switch.
As I remember it, the
kind of disappointing though.
The resolution on the handheld screen of an original Switch is something very odd. It's not standard.
Okay.
And
so you think this might stretch it to a standard?
I think this iteration moves it toward a standard. And I think that's really all you're getting with this.
So they literally just took a little awkwardness out of it and then re-released it and called it good.
Yeah.
I do like the black and white color scheme. Like, it's very clean. It's very sleek. I would put this next to my one-day PlayStation 5.
Okay, here's the problem, though, Vast. Here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
The shade of white on the Nintendo Switch is not the same as shade of white is on the PlayStation 5.
Ooh, deal breaker.
This
we
color
just put them on
white on this Nintendo Switch is the same color white that you would have in the room with a smoker of 5 years.
Is this like more of an ecru?
I do not like
cream. Not quite cream white, but an off-white.
There's a very, very easy solution to this, Scorch.
Paint?
Bleach?
No! You just put it on the other side of the TV.
Just conceal it.
That's pretty true. That's pretty true. But like
No, I mean, don't put them next to each other. I mean, like literally on the opposite sides of the TV, or put the Nintendo Switch on the side that has more shade.
So it's
or shadow.
It's lighting. Surely it's a lighting
camouflage.
thing. It's not an actual color thing.
Look at my interior design skills already solving problems. Look at this.
I mean, that's true, but it doesn't change
Call
the
me
fact that
Sony.
both of those are two different color whites.
Call me Sony or Nintendo. Someone call me and then give me a new console. God damn it.
Hello, Nintendoni Soft?
Nintendo stuff.
Can I get that on a t-shirt?
Nintendoni soft. And the letters of each part of that word will be the font of each company.
Yes.
Nintendoni
Oh,
soft.
man.
I have good ideas, Nintendoni Soft. Listen to me.
They're the only ones I care about, honestly. Just kidding. I still like you, Insomniac.
Insomniac does good stuff.
I think that brings us to the end of our pod stream.
I think so. I think we've been going
I would
for a
believe
very
so.
long time.
Quite. Boy, this is going to be an exhausting episode to watch.
2 hours or something like that. Maybe longer.
Well, there's a lot of
More.
gaming news,
It's
and
more.
we haven't been talking much.
I know, really. Okay, well.
But we'll have another one coming up because we still got a lot of news.
Yeah, we didn't hit The Witcher. Let's see, what else did we not get? Babylon
Warframe.
Fall, Warframe, Warhammer, Space Tourism, Black Widow. There's a lot.
There's a lot.
Oh, the Ratchet and Clank, too. The video,
Yeah,
the
Ratchet and Clank.
photo mode.
Yeah.
We'll have to
And
hit that
even
next time.
more news is going to be released over the coming week. So
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
We will be around it 6 weeks later.
Probably. Be ready in September.
Oh my goodness. For everything that happened in August.
no, we're going to get back into shape. We're going to be podcast fighting shape before. What is the other one?
No breath holding.
Euro Game Con.
Hero
Gamescom.
Oh, Gamescom. That's in like August, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
August or September.
Just letting you know, my August is pretty busy.
God dang it.
I'll be around.
I mean, my Fridays shouldn't be too bad, but in general, my Augusts through the week are going to be pretty busy.
Okay.
Foreseeably.
The weekends, though. This has been Nami Gaming. We do podcasts not nearly as often as we want to. You can find us on YouTube, where we live stream everything. If you like what you hear, you can interact with us. We live stream every single recording that we ever do. You can also find us on Twitter at Nami Gaming. If you want to harass us, please don't harass us. I don't care. And then we will talk to you next time. Goodbye, everybody.